Welcome to the combat calculator for Operation New Earth. InDeeDo has created this and provided this for us, and I'd like to give a brief rundown of how this all works. Now, the first thing you're going to do is load this spreadsheet from Google Docs and save it. There will be a link in the description for this video. What you'll do is you'll go to File, make a copy, and then you will save it as to whatever you want to on your Google Drive. This will be all online and all in a browser. Now the first step that you want to do, because you'll start on this loading page, you'll come into your buildings. And in your buildings, you will list them down to whatever your buildings really are. Okay, so whatever your HQ, and so on and so forth, making sure that you get these all in there correctly, as they will show that they do other things over here, such as boost, health, boost defense, boost speed, boost storage, all sorts. Next thing you're going to do is start filling in your research. Now, when you're doing your research, the top line is the first column. The second line is your middle column, and your bottom line is your third column. And it's somewhat going to look like going across the top of here, the middle, and then the bottom, and so forth for all your different researches. Now, you have to do that to all of these if you want to get the correct readings, or you'll have to do just a little bit more work to fill in some more stuff, or kind of fill in stuff you don't really need. Now that goes the same way as for your hero and your hero stats as well. So when you're in your hero stats, you'll fill in the top row is your first column, your middle row here is your second column, and then the third row is your third column. And that goes the same way for the invaders. It's going to be your top row is your first column, middle row is your second column, and your third row is your third column here. Now, you're going to want to put over here what you have for a hero, for what your level is, and what gear you have as well, because that will make a difference when you're trying to use the combat calculator. Moving on to how these all work and play together. So in your NPC auto, you can see that depending on what you use for troops, you can use this drop-down menu and pick what troops you want to use. Now, starting out, you'd probably start out with jet troopers, which is a tier 3. And this will tell you what each one of these, well, actually, not jet fighters. Here we go, not jet troopers. Jet fighters are tier 3. So, you're looking at, what this can kill with what number of troops. And I got this right here. So, like, here's a level 7. The combat calculator shows that if I use jet fighters, it would take 269,000 of them. So, you come back over here, you'd see that's level 7. You'd use 300,000 here, which is, 6 million power. Not necessarily the case, but it could be for you. Now, if you want to skip all that, you can use this right here. You can just do the override. And when you do the override, you can just go to whatever troop it is over here. So like this one's ground vehicle, and the attack over here says 36. So then you go over here, ground vehicle, and you would put in 36 and then hit enter. And then you would change your override, and it will give you what your requirement is over here. Now moving on to invaders. Now invaders will be based on what gun you have, not necessarily what level you are. So you'll have what gun you are, what level it is for the gun, whether or not you have multiple pieces of the Storm Surge gear, and then if you have specifically the Storm Surge Guard. Now, Storm Surge Guard does a little bit, different stats, and it gives you better. Now, here's your chain attack right here, which is based out of your hero. So that's what you can do for chains here between these two when they're added together. And then it'll give you your chain attack here. Now, for some of these, like these down here and right down here, you can see that you can kill multiple of these in a specific day, almost unlimited. Now, that unlimited is because of this right here. That one is called Effortless Victory. It gives you back stamina or hero juice, depending on what level that is, and depending on whether this number is less than what you're going to be getting back. So if you want to specifically type in over here what you're looking for materials, this will tell me how many boxes you need. And the numbers get pretty large. Now, if you're looking in this portion right here, this is how many points you get for each kill during an event challenge. Now, if you have a wounded invader, you can put in approximately the percentage that you believe that invader is down, and it'll tell you what remaining hits are required for this kill. Now, moving on to Hero Solo, this is pretty specific as well. So you're going to have your hero level, and what gear they are wearing, what size ship you have, or what combat ship you're using, and whether or not you have your attack boosts on. And then it will give you a percentage either in green, black, or red. Black is normally 0. Now, I wouldn't trust a 0 because that means your hero will most likely die. Red, your hero will definitely die. Now, if you're somewhere between 3, 4, 5%, it's questionable whether or not you will survive. Now, you can override what it is here, and based on what millions of power is left, and then here will tell you what will be your percentage. Now, if you look right here, on these 3 right here, it says 3%. I would probably say you would not survive that. And that's based off of just regular. Now, you could also nuke it, and then it'll give you a certain divide as well, and how many you need to survive a kill. Next, moving on, you have the Combat PC. Now, Combat NPC tells you what is required for killing certain troops, or mainly aliens. You can do it with AAs, you can do it with pretty much every kind of troop that's out there. You got down drop ships, covert testings, dark activities, scavengers, and HCS. Now, if you know what you are trying to kill, like let's say you want to kill this HCS, you know that you're not going to kill it in one single hit. So, what you can do is you can go to an HCS, put that in. Now, you know your remaining, we're not going to override this yet. Now, you know that what you can try and use to kill this with. Now, let's say you have some decent fighters here, and I've killed enough of these, I can kind of base this off pretty easily. Now, this right here will show that there is actually going to be remaining troops right here, and you can see it. Do that without a hero there. Now, actually, I guess I did have a hero. Let's throw the hero in there. Gives it a little bit more. So this is telling you how many you're going to lose of whatever troop. You will lose that many or pretty close to that many, depending on whether you got your stats in all correctly. So you can base that. You can attack this right here, and then there's going to be remaining troops, such that now, after the first hit, there was 17% remaining, and it still had 3.58 million points right here remaining. So then you come back over here, and then you can do override, and we had 3.8, so you do 386. Make sure you get your millions in there properly, and then I'll tell you how many is remaining of the destroyers. Now, if you do this correctly, you can say it's going to require, you're going to lose about 500. So if you put 500 in there, and it's going to lose 300, and then you'll have a clear kill based off of what is remaining on that kill. Moving on to items. You have your time stores, and it'll calculate how many days you have worth. If you have energy packets that are stored up, you can add those up, and they'll tell you how much stamina you have, how much experience you have stored up. You just type it into the green spot. Now over here you have how many caches you have in your stores for resources. And that goes all the way down through all of these, and that'll tell you how much you have for stashes. Now, we haven't released the combat PvP. It is in the download that you can do, and it is quite semi-functioning. It really does come out pretty close. I did some testing today and found that based off of, you know, what you have for a scout report, if you do a scout report, you type in all the information from the scout report of your target. And then you come over here and you put in what they have for troops, what they have for defenses, whether or not their hero is correctly there, and whatever level VIP they have. So far, the calculator has come out a little high on the bottom end. So it was more like 500 difference, which is fine. I mean, that means you'll lose less troops than what this says. Now, moving on to what you're killing and what you're killing with. So you can change this as you need to based on what you have for troops. And as for what the hero has that you are attacking, you're only going to be able to get a baseline. You have to guess all of this, what gear they have and what level hero they are. Well, actually, when you do the scout report, you'll get the hero level, but you'll have no idea what they're wearing for equipment. Now, I hope that has helped, and if you have any further questions, you can leave comments down below.